everybody. I'm Sarah Reagan. I'm one of the productivity coaches and I also teach Ignite. You will probably not see me in front of the screen unless I can move. Some people were supposed to be here in person, but I guess they're not coming. So I will move myself right here up front and we will get started here in just a second. All right, can everybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic, good deal. Oh, it looks like we do have one person coming in.
Do I come in here?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
Yeah, just find a seat anywhere.
All righty. Can I take my mask off?
Yes, absolutely.
Great. I didn't want to be
Absolutely.
on some video. And be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you got your mask on." You're like, oh,
And if you feel, Robin, like this is weird, like me speaking and you looking at the back of my head,
no. Honey, I don't even
feel
know.
free to move around. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Today is all about winning the seller. So today we're gonna learn how to use the pre-listing packet effectively. We are going to talk a lot about the listing presentation and about how to ask for the listing agreement to be signed. I don't know about anybody else. Hey, Kimberly. But Robin just got her first listing under contract. So yay, Robin. And all right, so let's get started. Who all was here yesterday for April's? Robin, were you here?
No.
I was here.
Kimberly, did she make y'all make phone calls?
No, she said there wasn't enough time to allow it.
Yeah, there's really not. And it talks a lot about making phone calls and stuff. I just want to make sure we were all on the same page. Okay, so y'all worked on capturing contacts, connecting with them, things like that yesterday. So we're going to talk the pre-listing packet and the listing presentation are two of the most important tools in your arsenal. Hi, Tori, welcome in. So when you get a lead, it's like a funnel, and I don't know if y'all can see the same thing I'm seeing, but this is session 4 in your notebook. So you have a funnel. You get leads at the very top, the widest part of the funnel. Not every lead is going to turn into a contract. So you go from leads to appointments. Not every appointment is going to like what you have to say. though a lot of them are. But then you go from appointments to agreements, and as we go, the funnel gets smaller. So then we go from agreements to contracts, and then from contracts to close, which means you get paid. So that's amazing. Everybody likes to get paid. All right, so let's watch a video about developing your listing skills. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Right here. All right, let me know in the chat box if y'all can or cannot hear the video.
Hi, my name is Gene Rivers, and I'm here today to tell you how to develop your listing skills to a very high level. And after you've done that, you go to go in and take over market share. Number one, the best source for listing leads is from your sphere and past client list. The fact is, the people you know the people that are going to be moving, whether it's at church, school, work, friends, relatives. Focus on making sure they understand you're in the listing business. Create a pre-listing package that you would give every seller, but rename it your guide to selling homes successfully in your market. And then give that to people in your database that you know have influence as collateral materials that they can give to their friends and refer you. Step two, focus on an area, product, or price range. When you develop mastery of a product or an area, you will much more quickly succeed in those areas. And in that area or in that product or price range, focus on the FSBOs in that area, the expireds in that area, door knock in that area, geographic farm in that area. And I'm talking a fairly tight area so that the people in that area will really, really identify with you as someone who can help them sell property for top dollar with low hassle in a short amount of time. Now we're at number three. Everyone today that's looking at hiring an agent, whether it's a referral, even a past client, or a stranger who's gotten your name somehow, they're going to check you out on the web. So you need to make sure that your website is competent, that you've got basic, powerful content in there, and specifically that on the landing page, the very opening page, there's a direct offering to a seller. Find out what your home is worth, get a guide to selling your home. But if you don't do that, you're going to miss opportunities because people will get your name, check your website out, and go, oh, I don't think so. I've seen a lot better sites. Fix your website with a database that you are working on a consistent basis, and with a tight focus. You build your reputation. If you're visible, you will find you will take over more and more listings, and in a very short amount of time, in 12 to 24 months, you will own that market. That's how you take market share.
All right, guys, I'm gonna stop sharing now. All right, somebody unmute yourself and give me an aha from that video.
Finding your niche market so that you can make sure you understand.
Sorry, hold on just a second. I'm having trouble hearing. Let me see if I can turn my volume up. How do I turn the volume up? Okay, who was just talking?
I was saying to make sure to find your niche market so that you can best understand that area.
Very good, very good. Does anybody else have anything? I know Robin commented that she needs to get on designing her website. And that is super easy, guys. If you don't know how to do it, get with Chandra Woods. Ask her to walk you through it. But once you get on command and go to sites, on the left-hand side, it's one of the little icons. It has a step-by-step guide to walk you through setting up your website. and then all the add-ons like landing pages and blog pages, stuff like that. They've done videos on and trainings on. But if you're still having trouble, please sign up. If you will search on Facebook, especially our agent page, if you go on there and search Command 101, I posted a link to sign up for that. It's free. It takes you through step by step. It's got like Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3. You take a little quiz at the end and you move on to the next unit. But it walks you through every step of Command, including, walking you through setting up your website, things like that. Once you finish that, you can sign up for Command. I think it's 201. I think it's like $60. They take like $20 a month for 3 months out of your account. But once it's done, you have that, and it will walk you through more advanced things, campaigns, setting up, making designs, anything, further than basic. So yes, website is a big thing. What did y'all think about talking to your sphere? Like, that's a big thing, is not just telling your sphere, hey, if you have a house to sell or if you're looking to buy a house, I can help. Say, who do you know? Who do you know? That's like a realtor's favorite words. Who do you know? So we need to be talking to our sphere a lot, because especially your first year of real estate, as long as you're touching base with your sphere, they're going to be your biggest source of business for at least your first year, if not more. Especially if you have a good relationship with those people. Keep in touch with them. Don't let them get lost. Because if they get lost, another realtor is going to come along and they're going to snatch them up. And then you're going to hear about it and you're going to be like, well, why didn't you just call me? You'll be like, oh my God, I completely forgot you were a realtor now. It's happened, and it happens a lot. So keep in touch with your sphere. So focus. Keller Williams is, especially Gary Keller, focusing on listings is a huge thing. And it may not be for everybody. I enjoy doing listings, but it's not my primary focus. My primary focus is buyers. I enjoy working with buyers. I love driving them around. I love those happy faces on closing day and when they get their keys. I love first-time home buyers is my niche. I love it. It's like seeing the world for the very first time. And I'm a big geek. You will learn that about me. I love Harry Potter, anything. So the very first Harry Potter book and the very first Harry Potter movie are probably my favorites, just because it's a whole new world. Like, you're walking into this and you're like, oh my gosh, I never knew. And of course I have, an education background, and I'm a productivity coach and teacher here. So teaching is, it's one of my passions. So helping first-time home buyers and walking them through the process and educating them along the way, I love that. That's what I'm here for. All right, so, but focusing on listings, they say, they encourage that because they take less time, and time is money. So listings provide more exposure. You're more likely to get both sides working as a listing agent. Plus, your sign is in the yard, your face is there, your name is there, your number's there. People are more likely to call you. Working with buyers, you don't get that kind of exposure because you don't put your face in everybody's yard. I wish we could. Wherever our current buyers are living, we should put a sign in their yard that say, this is my agent, she's great, call her. And then of course listings bring buyers, and listings are time leveraged. So you can close 2 to 3 seller listings to every 1 buyer listing because they take less time, especially in this market. Once they go on, In this market, they're gone, within a week, if that. Sometimes, like Robin's, it was on the market for, 12 hours?
Yeah, absolutely.
Her listing in Madison was on the market for maybe 12 hours, and she had multiple offers, and it was under contract, same day. So, you can probably close way more, seller listings during the time it takes to work with one buyer. Because buyers, right now they are having a hard time finding homes, especially in a certain price point. So you want to, working with sellers. So it's time to win your listing agreement. You've gotten the appointment, you've made those phone calls, you've gotten the listing appointment. Now it's time to win them over and get them to sign that agreement. The pre-listing packet and the listing presentation are your two tools in your arsenal. They can pre-qualify the sellers, like the pre-listing packet will pre-qualify the sellers to know their motivation. Sorry, taking notes. Asking them, why are you moving? When do you need to be there? How's everybody feeling about it? Learn their motivation. Let's say you go on a listing appointment and the seller says, hey, I have to be in Denver, Colorado in 45 days for a new job. That's pretty motivated. They need to get their house on the market like stat. Because if they're out in the rural part of the county, if they get a USDA loan, it's taking 45 to 60 days to close USDA loans. So they need to get on it like now. They need to list it today. So learn their motivation. Position yourself as an expert. That's where all of this comes in. The more questions you ask, the more experienced you sound. If you're asking the right questions. And also in your listing presentation, knowing the market stats, knowing what all the other houses in their neighborhood are selling for, do your research before your listing appointment. And then win the listing. These things, if you come across as someone who knows what they're doing, but don't come across as cocky or arrogant. Come from contribution. You want to help them. You don't want to sell their house. You want to help them sell their house, and you want to help them get to Denver in 45 days with, no problems on this end. You want them to allow you to price the home to sell for the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. I know I had a conversation with, I believe it was Robin, about sellers being emotional when they price property. You don't want to be mean. These people moving, they have a lot of emotion. They have a lot of memories in these properties, and they probably want to get a whole lot more than it's worth, than a buyer is willing to pay. So make sure that you know exactly what it's going to sell for, not the exact number, but in a certain range. You want to come across as the expert in that. If you have to get help from a seasoned agent, do that. If I'm your productivity coach, call me. I will be glad to pull comps with you and go over pricing with you, and how to approach that subject. If I'm not, Lisa, I'm sure would be able to help, or one of the other ALC members. But yeah, so don't come across as a newbie, say, I don't know how to do this. Ask somebody. So you want to make sure that you're setting the seller's expectations. Some people, this may be the first house they've ever sold. You want to walk them through that process. We're going to sign the listing agreement today. I'm going to get it on the MLS when it's ready. Especially if you've done the walkthrough in the property and maybe some paint needs some touching up, something needs cleaning, maybe the carpet needs to be redone. You know, you want to point these things out without being ugly. Don't be ugly about it. Don't say, ew, gross, your carpet's nasty. It needs to be done. Just say, you know, I'm going to walk through the house with a buyer's eye. So when buyers come through this house, they're going to see what I'm seeing. So I'm going to point some things out. If, you know, I notice some things, please do not take offense. I am only here to help. I am not here to judge. That is not my place. And just point out the little things. Look from ceiling to floor. If you see water stains on the ceiling, ask them about it. Do we know what that's from? Have you had the roof checked? Have you had the roof replaced recently? You may need to, you know, Kills upshot that a little bit to make it look neater. Because if I see it, a buyer's going to walk through and see it. And if they see that, they're going to be like, okay, well, this house needs a new roof. They're either going to walk away or they're going to lowball. And then set their expectations. You want to set a great customer experience. You want them to send you referrals. You want them to come back to you when they decide to buy their next house or buy their first investment property. You want them to come back. You want them to have a great experience. You want those reviews to be great. And the only way to do that is to provide a great customer experience. All right, so pre-qualifying the seller. You want to confirm important details, including their motivation to sell. So after you send them the pre-listing packet to fill out, it will help you avoid wasting your time on those who aren't serious about selling. Those that, oh, we don't have to move, we just wanted to test it out, that kind of thing. They're not motivated, so they're less likely to price the property appropriately for the market. And they're less likely to be flexible with showings, with closing dates, with, you know, terms of the contract. So pre-qualifying the seller is really important. So it's just a conversation with the goal to get to know the seller better. Use the scripts and questions in this book to help you. So if you turn to the next page, it's got a sample of some questions to ask the seller on the phone. How did you hear about me? Where are you moving? What's motivating you to move there? How soon do you have to be there? If we sell your home in the next 30 days, will that pose a problem for you? If yes, what would the problem be? What would happen if your home didn't sell? How much do you want to list your home for? That's the big one. How much do you think your home is worth? Well, with all the memories and the cost of moving and, you know, the love that I have for my home, yes, I need a bigger home, but I love this one. I brought my children home to this house. You know, they're going to ask, you know, $400,000 in a $200,000 neighborhood. And that's just not realistic at all. How much do you owe on the property? A lot of people don't want to tell you that, but it's important to know. That way, when you do, what page is this in the handbook? On mine, it's page 14 in session 4. So session 4, page 14 is in my book.
Okay, thank you. I've got it.
Okay, good deal. All right, so how much do you owe on the property? I'll be sending you a packet of information. Okay, thank you, Valanda. Will you take a few minutes to review it before we meet? That's where the pre-listing packet comes in. Hi, Gregory, welcome in.
Sorry, it took me so long.
No, you're fine. Do you have any questions before we meet? This is their chance to ask you questions. Sorry,
I don't have any questions at the moment.
Okay. And will all decision makers be there at the meeting? That is a huge one. If you have a husband and wife, they both need to be there because they both need to sign that agreement. In the state of Alabama, whether the husband or wife is on the deed or the mortgage, they still have to sign off on the sale of that property. That's an important fact to know. I learned that the hard way. All right, so next page, pre-listing packet. The pre-listing materials are designed to build their confidence in you and to answer their questions and objections in advance of your presentation. Saving time. The pre-listing packet will make the consultation experience smoother and probably shorter because a lot of their questions are going to go ahead and be answered. And if you have the pre-listing packet in your book, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to share my screen and go here. Let's see, I thought it was here. Apparently not. All right, let's see if I can find it here. Oh, it's not gonna let me. Okay, well, it's not gonna let me do that. So do y'all have a copy of, is it in your book, Robin? The pre-listing packet?
Yes.
It is? Okay, good.
Mhm.
Good deal.
Does it look like this? A guide to selling your home kind of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so it may be a small version, but it's there.
Yeah.
All right, so it's all about you. This is all about how I'm gonna help you. So first page, go ahead and read it. I'll give you 2 minutes to go through the page. Make sure to read each point, please. All right, everyone should have had a chance to read through those. I want someone to tell me, which one do you think is the most important to you? If you were the seller, which one of these would be most important to you and why?
I would say number one.
Number one?
Mhm.
Yep. Why do you think that that's important?
Because I mean, returning phone calls and emails the same day. You want to be communication. You want to be in the loop.
Yep. So communication is key. That's what I'm hearing. Anybody else have something different?
I say number two because you're wanting to get the highest price you can out of your home.
Okay, why do you think that that's so important to a seller?
Because they're wanting to get it for their home.
You froze up for a second. Can you repeat that for me?
Because they're wanting to get as much as they can for their home.
Yeah, and I mean, it can help them meet their future real estate goals. If they have to buy a bigger house, they need to make more money on this house so they can put a bigger down payment, or they can be able to afford that bigger house for their growing family. Or maybe they're moving to an area that has a higher, market value than ours. They're gonna need the money to buy a home there. Anybody else have anything different?
Number 10 could work as well.
Yeah, number 2 is great.
10, number 10.
Yes, absolutely. So why do you think that that would be important for a seller to feel like you had their best interests at heart?
I feel like it kind of goes over the other numbers as well, like kind of a majority of them wrapped into one. If you have their best interest, you're going to make sure they get the best price. You're going to make sure that you take a look at the market. So I think it just all goes into the same number.
Absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, we always want to make sure that we're doing what's best for our clients, not what's best for us. It's like you're working with a buyer. Let's just use that for an example. You're working with a buyer and the buyer is pre-approved for up to $300,000, but they're not comfortable with the payment at $300,000. They want to keep their payment somewhere around, the $200,000 price point range. You're not going to show them houses that are up to $300,000. Because that's not what they're comfortable with. You're not looking out for them, you're looking out for you. Now, if you want to go to like $215,000 and just show them how much more house they can get at this price point, that would be fine. But $100,000 is a huge difference. And it's a huge difference in, that monthly payment that they want to stick around. So you're not going to show them those houses. You're going to show them what they're comfortable with, because you want them to be happy. You want them to be comfortable. You don't want them to go into foreclosure 6 months in because they can't afford the house payment. You will definitely not get a referral from them or repeat business, and they'll probably post it all over. My realtor talked me into this. And then you're to blame. And then our company is to blame. It's like, I will not work with another Keller Williams agent because of that. We don't want that. That's not what we're about. We are all about coming from contribution. We want to help our clients. I don't do $1 million in GCI because I spend quality time with each of my clients. I don't have assistants. I don't have transaction coordinators, even though I probably need one. I like being the face and the voice that my clients see and hear. I want to be there from start to finish. It's why I haven't gone with other companies. I'm a very hands-on agent. So that's just me. If you want to treat your clients like a number, it's probably not going to work out too well for you. You need to show them that you care. You need to show them that you're listening to them. And I'm not putting down anyone who has assistants and everything like that. Some people are so busy that they have to. They don't have a choice. They never get anything done without one. And I completely understand that. Like I said, I probably need one. I just don't have one. All right, so next page, I'm gonna give y'all a minute to read over that. This is the get ready to list. And then we're gonna have a discussion on how these factors affect the value of the property. All right, let's go through and talk about it. I know it says at the bottom, what are the 2 of these 5 factors that someone can actually change, that the seller can actually change? There are 5 factors that affect the value of your property. What are the 2?
The price and condition.
Yes. You cannot change the location of your property. You cannot change the recent sales in your neighborhood, and you cannot change what competition is on the market. Those 3 are very important, but the price and condition are what's going to sell the property. You want to price it right. You don't want to price it too low because then buyers think something's wrong with it. You don't want to price it too high because then it's just going to sit and it's going to make everybody look bad. And then the condition of the property. Fix up that nail hole that's gigantic where you have that TV mounted. Patch it and paint it. That scuff in your wood floor. Go ahead and have that taken care of. Buff it out a little bit. Put some, furniture, wood marker on it to cover it up. Something. Make it look better. Declutter. Take down all personal photos. The condition of your property and the price are going to sell it. Tori, did you have something else?
No, ma'am. I was just looking at the competition right now. Since everything is so competitive, I feel like that's a big part in it too.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and that goes back to condition and price. Your competition, you have to look at what else is for sale in your price range in your area. If, you have a 1,500 square foot house and your neighbor 3 doors down has, a 1,600 square foot house with 4 bedrooms instead of 3, but you're priced higher than that one, now you have to go to look at condition. That, your house could be completely updated, renovated, new roof, new HVAC, new paint, new floor, new appliances, granite countertops. Okay, now go to the 4-bedroom house that's bigger and there's still, Formica countertops and the carpet's dirty in the living room and, the guest bedroom is neon orange and, you have to look at these things like, why is this one smaller, but it's priced higher? That's where condition comes in. You can get more money if the condition of your house is better. All right, so let's go to recent sales. That's where we pull comps. We actually want to go to the sold properties to get our comps. Sold properties in the last 6 months in that neighborhood. If you can only find 1 or 2 in that neighborhood, use the mapping feature in your search in Paragon and go out half a mile around it. Search for, if you're looking for a 4-2, look for 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. Look for, if the property is 1,600 square feet, you want to go 1,300 square feet to 1,900 square feet. You always want to go 300 up, 300 down, and do that way, but you'd never want to go out more than you have to as far as like a circle around it, a radius around it. But if there's two neighborhoods that are identical or even connected, you can actually search both those neighborhoods at the same time instead of just the one. Like my neighborhood, we have two neighborhoods that are connected. I actually live at the dead end of one neighborhood, but I'm considered in the other one, which is just weird. But, when I pull comps for my area, I always do both neighborhoods. The houses are about the same. They're about the same age, mostly brick, some 3/4 brick, some half brick, and some are vinyl, but not many. But they're all about the same size and shape and age. So I just pull comps for both neighborhoods. All right, timing. Timing is huge. Oh, excuse me. The first 2 weeks of a listing are the most important. If you don't have any offer, especially in this market, if you don't have any offers in the first 2 weeks, something is seriously wrong. And it's going to be the location, the condition. Oh, sorry. My bad, Siri. So it's going to be the condition, the price, or the location. If you are priced in direct correlation with the neighborhood and the condition of the property is in really good shape, it's the location of your property. You could be next to a convenience store. You could be located in a flood zone. Then you have to get creative, and I'm sorry, you may have to drop the price because the condition's already in good. It's in good condition, so there's not really anything that you can do to improve that. So it's got to be down to pricing because of that, whatever you're next to or on. You could have the smallest yard in the neighborhood. You're going to have to bring the price down just a little for that. All right, competition. You want to see what else is out there. And again, we talked about that with the condition of the property and the pricing. You want to know what else is out there that they're going to have to compete with. You can bring that to your listing presentation too when you talk about pricing. These are the houses that are on the market currently. So this is who we're competing with. How does your house stack up to these? You can see the price. Also, most sellers, not all sellers, most sellers have no idea how we price homes. They have a 1,500 or they have a 3,000 square foot house, and there's a 1,600 square foot house down the road. The 1,600 square foot house sold for $125 a square foot. That $3,000 house or 3,000 square foot house is not going to sell for $125 a square foot. So here's the rule: the higher the square footage, the lower the price per square foot. So a 3,000 square foot house may sell for between, maybe $110, depending on the condition. Might sell for $110 a square foot. And that's depending on the condition of the property. If not, it's probably going to sell somewhere between 90 and 100. That's why they always say it's never good to have the biggest house in the neighborhood. So the lower the price or the lower the square footage of the house, the higher the price per square foot. That's our rule for pricing. Also, you have a neighbor that saw, or there's, your seller, their neighbor down the street sold their house for $300,000. So they're like, okay, I can get $300,000 for my house. Well, their neighbor's house is 2,500 square feet. Their house is only 2,000 square feet. They're not going to get $300,000. They might in Madison, but they're not going to get that. So we don't price it. excuse me, every house in the neighborhood, it's gonna sell for 300,000. We price it per square foot, which is what appraisers do as well. And that's how we price ours. We go price per square foot. There's not just one set price for every house in a neighborhood. All right, so do y'all have any questions or comments about any of those 5 factors in selling your house? Questions, comments, anything you think I left out? No? All right. Next page. Get ready to sell. Pricing your home. So, and of course, this is 2017, so this is 4 years ago. These stats are not correct today, but just for the purpose of the class. A well-priced home creates interest, attracts buyers, generates showings, and produces offers all very quickly. An underpriced home will attract buyers and may sell quickly, yet may detract buyers who wonder what's wrong with it. An overpriced home will be evidenced by lack of interest, few showings, no offers, longer time on the market, and possibly price cuts. Also, you have to worry about an appraisal with an overpriced home. You have to warn your sellers. We can try to list it at that price if you are adamant. However, when we get an offer, and if the appraiser comes in and does not praise for that amount, you're not going to be able to sell this property unless we drop the price down to the appraised value. Not many buyers have the money to come out of pocket to pay the difference between the appraised value and the sales price. So they have 3 options. The seller can drop the price to the appraised value, the buyer can come out of pocket for the difference, or the buyer can back out of the contract, get their earnest money back, and y'all have to go back on the market and do this all over again. If you don't drop the price though, when you go back on the market, you're gonna face this same thing over again and over again and over again until the seller's finally like, why did you let me do this? No, I told you. But we don't want to make them feel stupid. So what I do during my listing presentations is we can try to list it at that price since you are very adamant about it. However, if we do not get any offers or go under contract within the first 2 weeks, you agree to a price drop of such and such percentage, or you agree to try it for 2 weeks at my price. And if we still don't have any offers, we can go back up to yours if you'd like. You can also use that tool with upgrades to the home. They want to list it at an updated price, but they don't actually want to do any updates to the home. So you can say, we can try that for 2 weeks. And I know you don't want to spend any money, so we're going to sell it as is. We're going to try it at your price for 2 weeks. If we don't have any offers, or if, people put in offers, but then the inspection comes back and there's too much wrong with it for them to do, or maybe the appraiser comes out and there are actually lender required repairs to go through with the sale. If these things come up, you agree to do a price change or you agree to upgrade the home. Either one. So, but use that as a tool. 2 weeks. 2 weeks is the magic number. And then once you do that price drop, anyone with that saved search in that price range, if you go from 250,000 down to 225,000, you open up a whole new buyer pool to people who can afford 225 but can't afford 250. So you're adding more buyers, but anyone in that saved search is going to come back on their radar once you go back on the market or once you drop the price. All right, so overpriced, underpriced, we talked about all that. All right, so get ready to sell. Condition. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. Landscaping, the outside of the home, pressure wash it. Throw some fresh mulch in the flower beds, trim the bushes, cut the grass, put a new coat of paint on the shutters, put a new coat of paint on the faded front door. Those are easy fixes that can go a long way. I mean, you're talking like $200 maybe for some paint and some mulch. That's going to make a huge difference. A lot of sellers, and this is in mind, I will go ahead and recommend them having a pre-inspection. That way an inspector comes in, they search the property, they look over it, and you know exactly what's wrong with your house. So the very important things you can go ahead and fix. The smaller things you can negotiate later on, but the major things would be fixed ahead of time. Or when you just want to know the condition of the property, that way when a buyer comes in, they have the inspection done and they ask for these things, you're not caught off guard. And maybe you've had a little bit of time to save some money to do those fixes. All right, so like I said, curb appeal, cleanliness. I took some of my clients to look at a house in Madison. It had just gone on the market. And my clients loved the layout. They were even willing to accept this tiny backyard that butted up against a main road because they loved the actual house so much and add a larger front yard for their kids to play. Now, when we were walking through that house, it was the first day on the market. There was literal dog poop smeared in the carpet. The smell was in the house. There was dirt and handprints all over the walls. None of the beds were made. The tubs looked like they hadn't been cleaned in a month. It was gross. My clients were like, there's no way. Absolutely not. No, this is disgusting. And so they literally started seeing every tiny little nick and scratch and everything. They started seeing everything. Even when we got to the house, they were looking at the front of the house. It looked great to them at first. After they saw everything inside, we came out, we started talking in the front yard. They started noticing everything. There was a crack in the bricks. There was like a dead bird in the front flower bed. They noticed everything after they saw the condition of the inside. So I don't know about y'all's parents, but my parents, when they would tell me to go clean my room, I would go in, throw everything in the closet, under the bed, spray some perfume or body spray or air freshener, and call it a day. My parents would walk in and be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Thank you so much. If it looks nice and smells nice, they're not going to go peeking in the closet or under the bed. So if they walk in and it's pretty and shiny, they're not going to go through and pick out every little nick and scratch because it looks like it's been taken care of. So just an FYI, when you walk through with a buyer's eye at your listing presentation, you need to be that nitpicker, just in case. All right, so questions for you. What is the most important thing you are looking for in your listing agent? I want somebody on here to go ahead and speak out. And as a buyer, what is the number one thing that you would look for in your listing agent? Not everybody at once.
I would say like communication
I'd
and
want my,
put time, the forth and effort to give you their all.
Absolutely, Tori. Gregory, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I'd like to have a honest agent that, would, go to bat for me like family.
Yeah. Jimmy, did you have something?
I was gonna say honesty also. I'd rather my agent be upfront with me and me know what I'm doing as opposed to them trying to sugarcoat it.
Yeah, absolutely. However, with that being said, we are not to give our opinions on the condition of a property. So if we walk up to a house and they're looking at the roof and they're going, what do you think about the roof? How old do you think that is? Do you think that that looks good? We are not to say, oh yeah, the roof looks great to me. No, absolutely not. If we know the age of the roof, we can tell them the age of the roof, but we are to say, you know what? All that can be figured out in the home inspection. If you really like the property and we have it inspected, the inspector will let us know if it needs to be checked by, you know, a roofing specialist or a roofing contractor. They'll go up there and they'll say, okay, there's a couple of missing shingles, some lifted shingles, some cupping shingles. You know, the pipe boots are starting to rot. There's, you know, roofing nails poking up everywhere that looks like they're trying to back out. That's when, okay, we want to move forward. We love the house. However, the roof needs some work. So that's when we bring in that request for repairs and we tell the seller, hey, this is what the inspector found. It needs to be, what is that word I'm trying to think of? It needs to be looked at by a roofing specialist and repaired or replaced as needed. That's the wording. It needs to be repaired or replaced as needed or as recommended by the roofing specialist. But yeah, so honesty. We can be honest, but I'm not gonna say, you know what, that roof looks like crap to me. And I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, that roof looks great. So I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not gonna tell the absolute truth. I'm gonna say, if you like the house, we can get an inspector in here to look at the roof. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm covering my butt. Because if I say that roof looks like crap, they're gonna walk in and literally see crap inside the house. So I don't want that either. I don't want to ruin their experience at the property when we haven't even seen it yet. But I'm also not gonna say, oh yeah, that roof looks great, and then the roof actually not be great at all, and them going, why did you tell me it looked great? Now I'm stuck in a money pit. The sellers didn't fix it. It didn't look like that big of a deal. Now I'm out $6,000 for a new roof, or $8,000 or $12,000 or whatever. Then you look bad. Again, no referrals, no repeat business. All right, so what prior real estate transaction experiences have you had? Have you sold a house before? Have you bought a house before? You know, do you have investment properties? That kind of stuff. How would you like to be communicated with? This is very important. Millennials don't typically like talking on the phone, so they're probably going to say text or email. The older generation is probably going to say, I want a phone call. And then some people like me are going to say all of the above. Just in case I miss one, I get all the rest of them. How frequently would you like to be updated? And this is not just marketing, but this is on everything. I tend to update everybody once a week unless we get some really bad feedback on their property. I will probably call them as soon as I get that feedback and say, hey, I know I just talked to you the other day. We just got some negative feedback and I'd like to go over that with you and see what we can do about it. But it gives them an option, weekly, twice a month. Do you want updates after every showing, or other? How frequently would you like an update on showings? See, that just makes no sense to me. It says marketing and then showings. I just do it all in one. And then please list what you are most concerned about in the marketing and selling process. Buyer qualifications. Do you want to require a pre-approval letter with every showing? That way you don't waste time with people who aren't pre-qualified. Showing procedures. How, are you living in the property? Of course, if they're living in the property, you're gonna have to make appointments. Do you only want showings when you're not at home? So during the day, like 9 to 5. Do you only want showings on the weekends? Do you not want any showings on the weekends because you're home with your family? Things like that. Open house. Are you okay with open houses being held for the property? Possession. Possession is a big thing because in other states, like you close and then you have 60 days to take possession. Here, you take possession on closing day. We hand keys, garage door openers, all that at the closing table. So possession would be at closing, unless it's a very rare occasion where the seller wants to rent back the property for 2-3 weeks, a month, while maybe their house is getting finished. Negotiations. Do you want me to handle negotiations for you? I know what you want to make or more. Do you want me to handle the negotiations for you? Or would you like me to contact you with everything? Hey, they said this. Do you want to go back with this? That kind of thing. So, and then other issues. Make sure that the expectations are there. Make sure, and also please make sure whatever you tell them, whatever you promise them, make sure that you do it. If you tell them that we're going to hold open houses, make sure that there is an agent, whether you can do it or not, make sure you get an agent to hold an open house. If you say, I'm going to handle the photography, you're going to handle the photography, but you're not going to do the photography yourself unless you are a professional photographer. You are going to hire that out. It is $136. Pay the money. I'm sorry. Just pay the money for the professional photographer. Unless it's under $100,000. And I have done it under $100,000 just because it was a repeat client. But I mean, you're going to make that money come out of pocket, pay for the professional photography, unless they insist on paying for it themselves. If they insist, by all means, send them the invoice. But I always take care of my professional photography for every one of my listings, unless it's a foreclosure. And then I just go in with my iPhone and I take pictures. All right, so the next one is the About Me page. This is where you get to brag a little bit, but humble brag. Don't like arrogant brag, humble brag. What are your expertises? I love working with first-time home buyers. I'm also a member of ABR, which is the Accredited Buyer Representative. I'm also a military relocation professional. That's where, my expertise, my certifications, that kind of thing. Technology, put the link to your app, put the link to your website, all that kind of stuff, put that there. Make sure that they know. Your Facebook business page, put that on there. If you have a Facebook Twitter or a business Twitter or, a business Instagram page, put those on there. That way they can follow you. You get more followers that way. And also when you're marketing their property, they will see that you are putting forth the effort and the time to get their house sold. Communication. Make sure that you put all of your forms of communication in there, your phone number, your email, if you have a text number or a business number or the office number, put them all in there. Clients for life. Make sure you can say how much of your previous business is repeat business. Probably 75%, I don't know the exact number, but a good portion of my business is repeat business. Awards and recognitions. If you get even awards here in the market center, if you get an award, put it on there. If you've gotten awards, in other industries, but it's like a customer service award or, top 5 at whatever you were doing, put it in there. It doesn't have to necessarily be real estate related. Put your awards in there. Don't use a whole page though, just the top 5 most important ones. Personal, any volunteer work that you do, any charity boards that you're on, your hobbies, your family info, doesn't have to be long. Like me, I've lived here all my life. I am born and raised native. I have 2 kids, I have 2 dogs, that kind of thing. My commitment to you. So my commitment is actually on the back of my business card. And that's, we provide, no, I can't even remember it. I'll have to get it later. I can't remember what it said. But it's something like, we provide the service that we agree to in ways that work for you. That's my motto. I'm gonna do everything that I tell you that I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do it in ways that work for you. What my clients and colleagues say, if you have some testimonials or some reviews, throw them in there too. All right, so next we are gonna watch another video on the listing presentation. I think it's this one. Nope, not that one. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Josh Bass from Vancouver, Canada. I'm with Keller Williams for 8 years and been selling real estate for 18 years. Now I'm going to walk you through my listing presentation, and it's a 3-step process. First part is preparation, second part is presentation, and the third part is follow-up. A lot of my listings come by way of referral and repeat. And so when the call comes in and they want me to come over and list their home, I have a conversation about what their needs are. What exactly is it you're looking to do? Are you moving up? Are you moving down? I have them tell me exactly what the reasons are that they're selling for. I get a real sense of what direction that they want to go. One of the things that we've done to make my appointment setting a little easier is we've time blocked. We follow what Gary says. He says time block everything that you do. And we've time blocked our slots in advance for listing appointments. Every day, Monday to Friday, we have a slot available at 4 o'clock and a second slot available at 5:30. So I've got a potential of 10 listing appointments Monday to Friday. That makes my life a lot easier because I'm able to time block my lead generation first thing in the morning and not have my day so loose and scattered, so I'm trying to scramble on where to put a listing appointment. What we do now in our team is we decided to go paperless with our evaluations, our CMAs. So instead of printing off paper, what we'll do is we'll take it on the computer and convert it to PDF, mark it up with a highlighter from there on the computer, and then create an email from that. Email that package off to our client prior to going out to their home to list it. What I do when I go on a listing presentation is I meet the sellers at the door and I have them take me on a tour of the property. During that time, I'm actually asking them to tell me again, to recap again, what their motivation is for selling. So I'm getting them more comfortable with them moving out of their house is what I'm doing. That usually takes about 5 minutes. And when we're done there, we transition right over to the kitchen table. We'll talk about the market, the evaluation itself, and that in itself is about 15 minutes. Once we've agreed upon a price that we're going to list at, we'll sign a listing contract. They sign the initial 3-page contract, they sign the property disclosure statement, and they sign the working with a realtor brochure. Outside of those 3 documents, that's it. I send in my measuring company to come in and measure the home. I send in my stager who's going to contact them to come in and stage the home. And once she's done, then I send in the photographer and take the photos of the home. We always do a follow-up with them as well, just to say, how did that go? What was that experience like for you? Keeps them feeling like they're in control and very much a part of the process. And it lets them know that we're paying attention to every detail on their listing prior to it even being on the market. One of the expectations that I set with the sellers is that I phone them twice a week on purpose. So I set their expectation for me to phone them on Monday mornings with what's called a Monday morning update, where I review everything that's happened for their home over the past weekend with them. The second call that I set them up for to expect is on Fridays, and that's a Friday morning market update. And what I've set them up for is that I'm going to talk to them about any new listings that have hit the market, any expireds that have come off the market, and any solds that have actually just happened since that past week. They also know that on Friday, we're going to be talking about the numbers. Does the current list price that we're at right now still make sense in relation to the latest listings or the most current solds? They know in advance that that conversation could lead to a price reduction. And a lot of times they bring that on themselves. They say, hey, look, you know what? It looks like we might be a bit high, Josh. Should we bring it down? So it's a natural transition to a price reduction. One of the reasons I choose not to do a pre-listing package is when I'm sitting in front of them, I really want their full focus and attention. I want their attention on me, and I want to be able to ask them questions where they're giving me their full attention and not flipping through a pre-listing package. Most of their questions are going to come straight from their gut, and that's really what I'm looking for. I'm Josh Bath, and I just shared my listing presentation with you, and I wish you all the best with yours.
All right. So takeaways from that one. Any takeaways? Ahas? No? Nobody? All right. Well, we'll move on then. All right, so the listing appointment, you greet them. You walk, please make sure you're on time. Please do not be late for a listing appointment, ever, 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 ever. So even get there 10 minutes early and just sit in your car, get your stuff together, hype yourself up if you have to. Park down the street or something if you don't want to seem greedy or, you know, overly anxious, and get there. Park down the street, get all your stuff together, make sure you're prepared, double check your documents that you have with you, go over the pricing in your head again and what you're going to say, hype yourself up, drive up. 2 minutes would be great. Right on time, also great. Don't be any more than 5 minutes early, never be late. Walk through the home. He said he likes them to give him the tour. Some other agents like to sit them down with, you know, ReCAD or, you know, a questionnaire or something while they walk through the house. I personally like them to walk me through the house. That way, when I point something out, they see it. I'm not going to take notes and hand them this long list of stuff that they need to do. I'm going to have them walk me through. Then the listing presentation. You need the CMA. That's something that we're going to talk about in this next session when we get done with this one. Then close for listing agreement, and then the next steps. Ask them for the business. Don't be afraid to do that. Be confident in yourself and your abilities that you know that you can help them sell that property. I mean, if you walk in and honestly the property is a piece of crap, you may not want it. But you know that you can help them sell that property. Be confident in that. Whether you know what you're doing or not, you have a coach, you have a broker, you have agents in this office that are willing to help you do what you need to do. We have checklists for paperwork. We have, you know, the buying process, the selling process, contracts classes, all of that's on our YouTube channel. You have seasoned agents that are offering their time to teach you how to do these things. Take the initiative. Get on YouTube, watch the videos. If you don't know what our YouTube channel is, if you have a pen and paper, write this down. It is KW, and then you'll skip a space, and then it's MC782. That is our YouTube channel. Get on there. All of these videos that we record on Zoom, all these classes that are done on Zoom, we record those and post them to our YouTube channel. So if you miss one, they're going to be posted there eventually. It may take a couple of days, but they're going to be posted there. So ask them for the business. After you go through your presentation and you have the paperwork in front of you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, what's it going to take for you to sign this listing agreement with me tonight so we can get this home sold for you? Ask them. Or just say, all right, y'all ready to sign? We can get this property on the market tomorrow and get y'all into y'all's retirement home in Belize or wherever. All right, so make sure you thank them. Please make sure you thank them. That's a huge thing. Thank them for their time. Thank them for allowing you to tour their home. Thank you for allowing them to come and speak with them, or allowing you to come and speak with them. Also, write them a handwritten thank you note and mail it off the next day. Please thank them again. I loved getting to know you. Your property's beautiful. Thank you so much for allowing me to come through. I hope we get to work together, or thank you so much for trusting me to help you sell your home, that kind of thing. Please, always thank them. And again, when you're walking through the home, make sure you have that buyer's eye. Pretend in your head like you're actually touring this home to buy. So you're walking through this home with them. Be thinking, you know what, if I was buying this house, what am I going to look for? I'm going to look for spots on the ceilings. I'm going to look for holes in the wall. I'm going to feel for an uneven flooring. If I start to slide, obviously there's foundation issues. I'm going to look for rot around the windows, torn blinds, dirty appliances. I'm going to look for these things, because they're going to leave me that stove when I buy this house. That's disgusting. There is a dish in there. They obviously have not used this stove since they cooked whatever was in there 3 months ago. It stinks. There's mold growing on it. That's gross. I don't want it. So if I do go through with the house, I would probably ask for a new stove. All right, so listing presentation. You're going to create a great impression. You're going to share your price recommendation, and you're going to set your expectations for the whole process. This is how I work. This is how I'm going to communicate, which is what you told me that you wanted. I'm going to have the photographer come in. I'm going to give you a week to clean or declutter or whatever you need to do. I'm going to have the photographer come. Then we're going to get this on the market. I'm going to ask them if they want to do a coming soon campaign. If they want to do a coming soon to gather interest, I don't recommend doing a coming soon for more than a week. After a week, people lose interest, and they've usually already bought another property by then. You can do up to 30 days for a coming soon. No more than 30 days. That's the law. But I don't suggest doing one for more than a week. So talk to them about all that stuff. Go through it page by page. All right, listing presentation, a guide to selling your home. These are available in kwconnect.com. you can actually go through and download it as a PowerPoint presentation, and you can edit everything in there. You can add in your picture, you can add in, as a matter of fact, let me see if it will let me do this. We don't have any more videos right now. So let's go right here. Oh, there it is, listing presentation. So you're gonna come down here, go to documents. And there's gonna be a download. Relevance. Here it is. Here's a template. It is 2018, but that's okay. And this is a PowerPoint presentation. It is super easy to edit. This is the one that I used, but it is like 27 pages long or more. I only use like 9 pages of it. I just want to look. This is the instruction page. Here's the first page. You can change out the picture. You can put a picture of the home that you're going to do the presentation at, or you can just put a logo or whatever, their first name, last name, the Keller Williams Madison, all your info there. Rooted in community. I use this page. I just change all this in these paragraphs to fit the Huntsville area. I use the Veterans Parade downtown. I use all of the different coffee shops and restaurants downtown or at Bridge Street, outdoor shopping. This I don't change. I change all this because obviously I didn't go to school where she went to school. Your needs come first. I don't change anything on there. Clear communication. I don't change any of this. I just put my info here. Business by the numbers. I don't use this page. You can if you know these numbers. I do not use this. Credentials and awards. If you have some, go ahead and put them there. Local expert. You can actually change this to the proof is in our numbers and just use the market center's numbers instead of your own, especially if you're a new agent. Industry leader, I use this because this is all about KW and what we are about. Portfolio of excellence. If you have any active listings or sold listings, you can put them here. Here's the process. You can add in or delete or edit any of these steps. Custom marketing plan. Finding your buyer. These are not correct stats. I don't use this. I also take out staging because I do not stage houses. I think it's a waste of money. Oh. Sorry, guys. Hold on, guys. Let me see. Can you see it now, Kimberly?
Yes, I can see it now.
Sorry about that, guys. I forgot I was on screen share and I had to change what screen I was on. All right, so custom marketing plan, I take out staging because I don't stage homes. I mean, I may go through with them and say, you know, the room looks a little cluttered. We may want to take out this chair or take out this shelf. But other than that, I don't have a professional stager coming in. But you can change that. Price is right, I leave in. Your open house, you can leave that in if you want. Some houses don't even stay on the market long enough for an open house. So I don't ever include that. Powerful bargaining chip, I do leave this in. This is about Keller Mortgage. If you don't know about Keller Mortgage, you probably need to do a little research and get signed up to do that. Custom marketing plan, I don't use this because I don't leave my marketing plan with anybody. And once they have that, they usually like to save it. And if they have interviews with other agents, they will compare them side by side or even show the other agent my marketing plan, and I don't want that. Your trusted partner, this is a place for testimonials or reviews. A promise. I leave this in here. This is our promise to our clients. And then the bottom line, I leave that in there as well. Like I said, I only use like 9 of these pages and there's like 22. But it's super easy to use. It's super easy to edit. And then you just print it off. So if you didn't see what I did before, I went to Ignite. Or not Ignite, but KW Connect. I did search, listing presentation. I go to documents, and then I change this to relevance, and it's right here at the top. I just click on it, go down here and download it, and it downloads as a PowerPoint presentation that you can edit. All right, so stop sharing. All right, so there's that. All right, listing presentation. This one in here is different. This one has a little more in depth. In preparation, appointment, goals for today. It's all about you. A lot of this stuff is just going back over what the pre-listing packet did. Delivering a 10++ experience. So what is most important to you? That's basically what that is. Why Keller Williams? The next page is all about technology. You can put like a QR code for your app in your listing presentation if you want. That way, if they have their phone, they can just snap a picture of it and it'll take them right to your app and they can download it. Also your website. I run ads on Facebook through my business page. I run ads for all of my listings, all of my open houses, even if they're for other agents. I always do that. I go above and beyond. I run ads for like a 20-mile radius around the location, and I run it up until the date of the open house. Then you get from me, your needs always come first. That page continues. Then the process. Servicing and marketing, offers and negotiations, contract to close, how to have a smooth closing and what I'm going to do to help with that. 3 factors to get your home sold: condition, marketing, price. Great condition sells, and this literally goes through what they should do to their property. And this is on page 49 in my book. But it's called Great Condition Sells. Keep grass cut, weed and apply fresh mulch, remove all yard clutter, fresh paint or stained fences, paint the front door, add a welcome mat. Inside, clean or add fresh coat of paint, shampoo carpets, scrub floors, clean up, repair plumbing leaks, organize closets. These are things that it should just be common sense. A lot of people don't think to clean out the linen closet. But people peek in closets and cabinets. Organize your Tupperware, people. Now for showings, if they have to leave the house, please leave all the lights on for the buyers. Open the window coverings in the daytime, crack the blinds to let in the natural light too. Keep pets secured or take them with you. Play quiet background music if you like. Something soft, easy jazz, classical, something to make people feel at home. And please vacate the property. Please let your sellers know that it's in bad form to stay behind at the property, even if it's in the front yard. And tell them not to eavesdrop. If they have Alexas and smart cameras, tell them not to peep and peek and eavesdrop on the buyers in their house. I know it's hard to do. They want to know what people are saying or doing or touching, but please tell them it's in bad form. People can see when Alexa is listening. There's a little light that glows when she's listening. And actually some of my sellers, I didn't even think about it. But some of my sellers had Alexas in every room of their house. So that way they could, it's like a, communication system between the rooms. And an agent called me during a showing. She had walked outside. She was like, hey, I'm so sorry. Can you please tell your sellers to stop listening to what we're saying? It's very uncomfortable and it's making the buyers like really, it's creeping them out. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Yes, I will tell them. I called my client. I was like, what do y'all think y'all are doing? Like, turn off the listening device, please. You're creeping them out and they know you're listening because the little light is on. And they were like, crap, we're caught. And I was like, yeah, don't do that again. So, I mean, it's a smart age. So, marketing your house. This is how I'm going to market it. This is what we're going to do to sell it. Global exposure. All right. So this is old. It says Zillow and Trulia. I know I did. I opted out of sending my stuff to Zillow because Zillow is trying to take over the world and it's not looking good for us. But we do go out to hundreds of third-party sites for people to see their property. Price to sell. Make sure to let them know the price is determined by the market, not their emotions. Their CMA. Make sure you do a good CMA, and we're going to talk about that in the next session. The recommended price, go over that. This is what I think that we should sell for. And I will always do 3 estimated closing statements to take to a listing presentation. I'm going to do one at what we could sell for, what we will most likely sell for, and then worst case scenario. I'm going to do 3 just to show them the difference and what they're going to net. So the listing agreement document. Make sure that you carry a paper copy of all of the listing paperwork with you. Have it in a nice, neat folder. We have KW branded just folders. I think they're like $1 a piece here in the office. If you need some, come and grab some. Just tell Sarah, she'll add it to your agent monthly bill, or you can pay up front, I think. I don't know. But yeah, we have the folders here. Look professional. It has a place for your business card to be stuck in the little pocket thing. And put all your listing documents in there. Put your CMA in there. All that kind of stuff, your listing presentation. Put it all in the folder. Pass it to them. Now they have a copy of everything. Do not leave your contract with them though. Keep the listing paperwork with you. Like as far as like, you can put RECAD in there, of course, but everything else keep to you. You can have like just a regular like yellow folder or like the manila folders. Have one of those with your copy of everything and then pass them the pretty one. We don't do seller disclosures. I know it talks about a seller disclosure. Alabama is a buyer beware state. It is literally the only one left in the country. But we are a buyer beware state. Sellers do not have to disclose up front about anything. Now, if we ask specific questions, they can't lie to us. And if anything is detrimental, they have to tell us about that. And then the what to expect next checklist, a moving checklist. A lot of agents don't provide this. It's a moving checklist. Don't forget to have your electric, your telephone, your water, your cable, your gas. Don't forget to have all that transferred to your new address. Professional services. Change your address with everybody. Change your address at the bank, all that kind of stuff. Subscriptions, change those. Do a mail forwarding. Anything like that. Health and fitness, country club, all your insurances. Make sure that all those get done. Make sure you get homeowners insurance on your new property and cancel your homeowners insurance on this one. All right, so I think that may be it for this session. We are going to take a 5-minute break, maybe 6. Go use the bathroom, grab something to drink, something to eat, whatever. And then when we get back, I'm gonna show you how I do a CMA. I do not use the CMA wizard. It takes too long and time is money. And it's like 40 pages long and that's a waste of trees. So I'm gonna show you how to do a quick and easy CMA that gets right to the point when we get back. So I will see y'all back here in just like 5 or 6 minutes. Actually 10:40. Be back here at 10:40. Oh my goodness, I can't walk. All right, guys, is everybody back?
Yes.
All right, good deal. All right, here we go. All right, CMAs. Teach you the super simple and quick way to do that. All right. You're going to log into your Paragon. If you have a computer and want to follow along, you can. If not, I believe the video is posted on the YouTube page. If it is not, just get with me and I can get you the video. Alrighty. Does anybody have an address of a property they want me to do a CMA on? It could be your personal property that you're thinking about selling. Maybe you have a listing appointment coming up.
Could you do my personal property?
Absolutely. What is the address?
28. Well, I'll write it in the chat so you can see the spelling.
Okay. I don't know if my chat will come up. But we can see. Oh, yep, there it is. Oh, hello. No. I don't know where my chat went.
Oh.
Oh, there it is. Boom. Got it. 28151. Nickwood Lane. All right. All right, so this is the subject property. Nickwood Estates. All right, so I just did the quick search because I have the address, but I didn't know the name of the subdivision. I just do this quick search. Now I'm going to open up a new tab. I'm going to go to search, residential. Can everyone still see the screen? Can everyone see my Paragon screen?
Yes, we can.
Good deal. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with status date. Status date's right here. I'm going to go all the way over to date range and go back 6 months. That's what appraisers use. It is a single family residence. And I'm going to go back here. It's got 3 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms. No, 4 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms, 1,755 square feet. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to look for 4. We're just going to go 2 because not a whole lot of houses have 3 bathrooms. Square feet, I'm going to go 1,400 up to 2,000. And then I'm going to try the subdivision first. And if, see, nothing comes up. So y'all are going to get to see how to use the mapping feature. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to go back up here to the top where it says mapping, this gray box. I'm going to click in it. Right up here, it says center map and zoom on this address. So it was 28151 Nuke. Is it 2 T's?
Yes, it's 2 T's.
Nuke Wit Lane, Ardmore, Alabama. And then I'm going to click this little magnifying glass. Don't press search yet. I'm going to click this. So here we have our subject property where the flag is. I'm going to go out half a mile. So I'm going to put 0.5 and then I'm going to click search radius. So now it has built me a radius around that address. I'm going to come back to criteria. So now we have 4. I'm going to click search. So here's our 4 properties. Now, you can see they're all fairly reasonable. It's 103 up to 119, which isn't a huge spread. I've seen worse. I'm going to go right here to reports, actually, and they're all sold, so that's good for us. We're going to go to reports. We're going to hit CMA and then CMA summary. Boom. Done. There we go. Here's our addresses. They're MLS numbers. You can actually click on them. Like if you want to see what the difference is between the 103 and the 119, you can actually click on the MLS numbers that are in blue and compare the pictures. If one of them is way updated, one of them is not updated, you can go through and, you know, pick and choose, especially if you have a ton. If like 25 came up, you probably want to narrow that down just a little bit to maybe like 10 or less. But right here, all right, status sold, county, their sold date, the list price to sale price ratio. That's that LPSP, list price, sold price ratio. Like this one is a 5. It sold, I think that's like 5% or something. It sold for 5% over asking. It gives you the square footage of the property. It gives you the days on market. It gives you the list price per square foot, and then it gives you the sold price and the sold price per square foot. So this one was listed at $119 a square foot, but it only sold for $113 a square foot. So it actually sold for 4% under list. This one, of course, was listed at $199 and it sold for $209. That one sold for 5% over. Then these sold for asking price. So this, and then down here, it gives you the average. So the average days on market for Kimberly's neighborhood or area is 9 days. And it goes from 0 to 17. The average is 9. The average price per square foot, the average list price, the average sold price. Then it gives you the minimum, the max, and the median. It gives you everything that a seller wants to know in a listing appointment. What am I most likely to sell for? That's going to be that average right here. What could I sell for? $119 a square foot is what you could sell for based on the condition of your property. What's worst case scenario? $103 a square foot. It gives you literally everything that you need to know. So with that, how do you share this? Well, you can either print it or go right here to actions and click PDF and then download it to your computer. So you can add it to your listing presentation. You can print it out. You can email it from your personal email instead of Paragon. You can do anything with it, but it's super easy to use. That took us all of how many minutes? 5, 6. A CMA wizard takes you at least 20 to 30 minutes, and it's 40 pages. This is 1 page, so you're not wasting that many trees if you print it out. All right, so Does anyone have any questions about how to do a CMA? Or if you have another address that you want me to do, I can do that too. So Kimberly, your house was 1755 square feet. This one right here was 1762. It was on the market 17 days and it sold for 5% over list.
This is amazing because we got the house for 135. So, and just like 2 or 3 years ago. So
you're set to make quite a bit of money when you're ready to sell.
yeah, that's surprising.
And even at $112 a square foot, I mean, you're still upwards of close to 200,000. So if you wanted, you could list your house for $209,000. You'll possibly sell for, 200, but you're still set to make quite a bit of money. All right.
I have a house that a guy wants me to sell. And can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
And it's a big dilemma for me. I don't know. It's 518 Oak Grove in New Hope.
Oak Grove Road Lane.
Yes, road. Uh-huh.
Oak Grove Road in New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And you said what was the issue with it?
Well, it's a gorgeous home, but the man is 92 years old. His wife has been dead about 6 years. And the house is in pretty bad shape on the inside as far as, the carpets are filthy. It needs a lot of updating, but it's a beautiful English Tudor home on like 6-point-something acres.
Yeah.
And it's got a new roof and fairly new HVAC and new windows on the front, but he's kept it up as far as
So it's mainly cosmetic stuff.
Pardon?
So it's mainly just cosmetic issues that it needs.
Right. It's 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, 3,300 square feet.
Wow.
It's absolutely could be I don't know, but he's got to have over, $330 something thousand for it, or he's got to get more than that for it. So it's a real dilemma. I don't know what to do with it.
So let me answer a question in the chat. Destin, how do we get access to this info? You have to join HAR. Have you done that?
I guess not. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Gotten your license back yet?
Yes, I've got my temporary license back.
Okay, so you need to call HAR. Get with Jill, our MCA, or Sarah at the front desk and get the number for HAR from them. You need to call them and go ahead and get set up with the training and join the board. Now, it does cost money to join the board, so I'm just going to forewarn you now. It does take a little bit of money to join that, but you will have full access to our MLS once you do.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's go back to criteria. I'm going to clear all this. I'm going to go back to mapping. And I'm gonna put this in.
I couldn't find his on MLS. It was built in 74 and he bought it in 85, I think, or 80.
You can actually see this is a very big lot. So you said it was on 6 acres?
Yeah, almost 7.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna search on this and we're gonna actually go out 2 miles because it's acreage. Actually, we'll probably need to go out further than that. Let's go out 8 miles and do a search radius of 8 miles. we're gonna go back to criteria while that's loading. It's got 14,000. We're gonna go date range 6 months. So we're down to 696, which is good. We're gonna do sold. Now we're gonna go in here. You said it's 5 bedrooms.
5 bedrooms. In fact, he told me it was 4, but it's 5. It's and they're all big bedrooms. The master's downstairs and there's 4 upstairs.
Okay. So we're gonna do 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 3,000 to 3,600 square feet. We're down to 16. That's a good number. Now, acreage, we wanna make sure that I'm gonna start it at 2 and see now we're down to 0. So I'm gonna go down to 4, 2. Now we're down to 1. I'm gonna take the maximum out. Now we're up to 4. Okay, so actually let's take this up to 4,000 and see. Nope, still 1. 5,000. Now we're at 3.
How many properties should you typically get?
If I go out until I get at least 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I keep playing with my parameters until I get at least 3 results. So we're gonna click search and see what's going on with Oak Grove. All right, so here's Owens Crossroads, New Hope, and Huntsville. Let's start with New Hope. This one's on 29 acres. This one's on like 30 acres. So we probably, that may be a little bit out of our parameters. This one's on 34 acres. Wow, there's a lot of acres out there. Let's go to this one. All right, this one's on 13 acres, but the house is probably going to be gigantic.
It is.
It's 4,300 square feet, but close enough.
Zillow says, I haven't measured the house, but Zillow says it's 3,600 square feet, but he says it's 3,300 square feet.
Gotcha. This one is on Hobbs Island Road. It is 13.5 acres. It's listed for 1.25 million. Per square foot is 285. But it's been sitting on the market for over 100 days. They are overpriced. However, you have to look at everything that it offers. So you have a vintage barn, a silo, a carriage house, with an extra apartment, mechanical shed, chicken coop, 3 fenced pastures. It's got a pool. So you have to look at those kind of things too. But it is way overpriced.
Yeah.
So 6 acres. And this is where experience comes in.
I know. That's what I don't have. All the acreage is in front of the house. It's a beautiful setting. You know, he had talked about selling off part of the front, you know, building some houses on it, but he's too old to do that now. So,
according to my experience as an agent and as someone who has sold several homes on acres, or on, you know, several acres, I would suggest around $150 to $175 a square foot. You could probably sell it for about $500,000, being on 6 acres.
With it being as is?
Now, as is, you may want to go a little bit less than that. You may want to do 400,000.
Yeah, because the kitchen needs gutting, the carpet, all the floors are carpet or vinyl. So, I mean, this is a 1970s house. So, but it's a beautiful home.
Are they original?
It could be $1 million home, but it just is going to take $150,000 to make it that.
Right. So you probably want to list it around 400.
Okay.
There on-
Zillow says 407, and I thought that sounded pretty good, so.
Oh, yeah, I mean, 400 to 450, anywhere in there, but being as is, I mean, if it was updated, you could probably sell it for between 500 and 600,000.
Right, right.
But
Well, the roof is a year old. One of the air conditioners is just a year old, and the other one is about 6 or 7 years old. It's got new windows on the front. He keeps the lawn and everything, in
Right.
good shape.
I would probably start it at 450 and see how that does for the first 2 weeks.
I had thought about asking him he's told me that he would get it professionally cleaned and decluttered. I had thought about asking him to get it appraised, but how much does that cost?
Appraisals, it just depends on the company. If it's a private appraisal or for a lender, private appraisals are a little bit cheaper,
Yeah, it would be private.
but it just depends on the company. So you probably want to call several companies and get some prices.
Okay. Okay. I don't really know how much money he's got. So I know he was a professional. He was a physicist or something, but that was many, many years ago. So, but anyway, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're so welcome. So does that answer some questions for you guys as far as doing a CMA and pulling comps for properties? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Good deal, good deal. All right, so we're pretty much done with the CMA section. And so now we're gonna move on to session 6, sell your listings. Unless you guys wanna watch. Oh, no, see, there's not any videos. All right, so sell your listing. We're gonna go ahead and watch the first video. Can you guys see the video come up?
Yes.
Okay, good deal. All right, here you go.
Hi, I'm Josh Bath, and I'm here to talk to you about creating a wow experience with your clients. Creating that wow experience with your clients starts right from the initial interview. When you're sitting down with them and you're listening to them and you're asking them good questions, that's really what sets you apart from the rest of the agents that just go in there and talk. The mindset should be not, what am I going to ask them next before they even finish their sentence with you. The mindset should be, what are you saying to me? A couple things that I do to establish a really good wow experience for my clients. I tell them that a photographer is going to contact them. I tell them that a home stager is going to contact them. And after that's done, I follow up with them. And I ask them, so how was your experience with my photographer? Now, I already know that the photographer I've chosen is incredible. And they're going to deliver great service the way I deliver great service. Except I get to use the service they use as an extension for the energy I'm creating with them in that wow experience. Once their home's listed, how I continue on with that wow experience, I just communicate with them almost every other day. And that communication is either by phone, by text, or follow up on an email. The advice I would give you, if you're looking for a place to begin, I'd sit down with a notepad and paper in a quiet place and just start writing out naturally in your mind everything that you do from the moment you sat in their living room to the moment you've gone back to the office and handed the file to your assistant. How are you communicating with them? What are you doing? These are all incredible steps to communicate back to your seller because normally they don't know what's going on. And if you're telling them what you're doing, you're helping them remove some of that fear and building confidence and trust in you, which is exactly what creates that wow experience. For people thinking that they need to do something big and as a result never doing anything at all, go back to small. It's not about being over the top and big. Sometimes wow is just following up with them when you said you were going to follow up with them. Or it could just be as simple as paying attention to some of their needs, like they don't have time to cut the grass. Maybe you might hire someone to cut the grass. That'll blow their mind. And for you, you can hire a local neighborhood kid. That doesn't cost very much. Little things like that, though, go a long way for referral business and creating a customer for life. That wow experience.
All right. So what did y'all think about that video? Nothing? Okay. All right, so staging is the first thing that we're going to talk about. Again, I do not use a professional stager. It is a lot of money. Unless I had $1 million listing, I probably would not spend the money on a professional stager. And unless, you know, it was my seller's $1 million listing, they probably wouldn't have the money to pay for it themselves. Staging is expensive. So what you can do, bring in someone that you know has a good design eye, as far as furniture placement, things like that. Ask them to do you a favor. Bring in your friend, bring in your mom, your sister, whoever has the good design eye. Have them come with you to walk through the property. They can tell you what needs to be moved where, what needs to be taken out, what needs to be added in, like fresh flowers on the dining room table or a small vase of fresh flowers on the kitchen counter. Something to make it look better, more appealing to the eye. You can also do virtual staging with your photography now. If you get a professional photographer, I know Urban Lens Photography with Bethany Dean, she does virtual staging in her photographs. So if she takes a photograph of an empty room, she can actually do furniture placement in her photos so people can see what it would look like with furniture in it. Marketing the listing. Marketing is huge. Like I said, I run ads on my Facebook page. I share it to my personal page. I hold open houses. I create open house flyers. You know, I put it on our agent page when I have a listing. Hey, do you guys have a buyer for this? And then I ask my family and friends to share my business page posts on their pages, because some of their friends may not follow my page or may not be friends with me, so they may not see it. I ask my friends and family to share it on theirs. That way it gets more exposure. Excuse me. Again, getting the word out. Door knocking is big too, especially for getting more listings. So if you have a listing coming up, maybe it's coming soon, maybe it's the first day on the market, or maybe you're holding an open house in a neighborhood that you would like to become the go-to realtor for. Door knock the neighborhood if you're allowed. Please don't do anything illegal. If there's a huge sign at the front of the neighborhood, or even a small sign at the front of the neighborhood that says no soliciting, don't door knock. And I know several neighborhoods, you can go to their HOA and get a temporary permit to go door knocking for what you're doing. You can do that. But make sure that you know the rules of that neighborhood before you start door knocking. Now, if you're just door knocking to advertise an open house, you can do that just to get your foot in the door. You can knock on the door and say, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you. I'm holding an open house later this afternoon down the street. I just wanted to give you a heads up in case you noticed a little bit more traffic than usual. Give them your business card. Say if you have any questions or any concerns about it, please feel free to give me a call. Thank them for their time, walk off, go to the next door. Don't say, hey, having an open house, have you thought about selling yours? Because then you sound like a salesman, and that's not okay. Leveraging the internet. Put it out there everywhere that you can. Social media, use your social media. Communicating with the sellers. I know we've talked about communication is key, but it really is. It's really key to a great experience for everybody. You know that you've done the best job that you can, so you can feel good about that, and the sellers have put their trust in you, and you haven't taken advantage of that trust. You have proven yourself. You followed through with everything that you said that you were going to do. So that's a huge thing. Create that customer experience that you'd want to have. So if you want someone who's communicative and who gives you updates and gives you feedback and helps you, like paying for the professional photography so they don't have to worry with it. Taking care of any issues that don't directly involve them or that can be taken care of without involving them. Do all that in the background. That way they don't even have to stress about it. Because we all know that when you say, so there may be an issue, worst case scenario comes in their head. They're like, oh God, we're not going to sell our house. Oh God, something happened. The buyer died. No. Okay. So here's the issue, but it's being taken care of. They're going to be like, why did you even tell me that? Now I'm going to panic for no reason. Let's see. All right, so here's a little thing, the communication checklist. This is session 6, page 22. So communication tips. Follow the preferences. Always ask and learn about your customer's preferred communication method and timing. Phone, email, text message. You want once a week, twice a week. Match their style. In person or on the phone, always seek to match their communication style. If they're very upbeat people, don't call them and be like, hey, I'm just calling, give you an update. Yeah, sorry, it's a really bad morning. They don't want to hear that because then you're Debbie Downer. So match their style. If they're very upbeat people, if they are engineers, they want everything in a list, short, quick, and to the point. No small talk, just get straight to it. Always update. Please update your clients, whether it's buyers, sellers. If your buyer puts in an offer on a Friday, but the sellers aren't reviewing until Sunday, just shoot them a text on Saturday anyways and say, hey, just want to let you know that they, are for sure doing it on Sunday, not today. I was hoping, follow through, update, or just shoot them a text and say, hey, I just want to check in on you guys. I know this is super stressful waiting to hear back, but I just want to let you know that I was thinking about you and we're going to get through this together. Be prompt. Please be prompt. Respond as soon as possible. If you're with another client, if you're in a training and they call or text or whatever, just shoot them a text when you can, when you've got your back turned, and just say, hey, I'm in a class, furthering my education. I will give you a call back just as soon as possible. Or if it's a text, if they text you, just go ahead and answer them or say, hey, I'm in a class. I can get back to you or get this answer for you as soon as I'm done in class. And always be on time. I know we talked about that. I cannot stress that enough. Never talk down. You don't want to come across as arrogant. You don't want to talk down to your client. You want to talk to them as an equal partner. Y'all are doing this together. This is a relationship. Never talk down to them, make them feel dumb, especially with first-time home buyers. Oh my goodness gracious. They already think they don't know anything. There are no stupid questions in real estate. And I tell my coaching clients this. There are no stupid questions in real estate. Unless you ask me what a house is, I'm never going to laugh at you. But I would rather you be 110% sure than to do something wrong thinking, okay, this may be right. Always ask if you're unsure, please. Keep a log if you can. Keep a spreadsheet for each client, or if you have a notebook, get a page for each client. Just make a note of what y'all talked about. That way you're not repeating yourself. You don't forget anything important. And you know when you communicated with them and how often. Decision maker focus. Please always include all the decision makers. If you are a female agent, you should never be texting or calling only the husband. I know you're not trying to steal that woman's husband or that woman's man, but it's just very inappropriate. And the wife, she may feel left out and then may take it out on you thinking you're trying to steal her husband. Unless the couple says he's the decision maker, all communications need to go through him. Okay, then that's the exception. If you are a male real estate agent, you need to communicate with the husband more. Unless he says, I'm always working, I'm a doctor, I'm sleep all day, whatever, all communication needs to go through her. I normally do a group chat or group text with me and both husband and wife, or I do a group email chain. If I do call, I'm calling the wife first, unless I've been asked not to. If she says, hey, can you let my husband know, then I will call him. But I'm always calling the wife first. Unless the husband is a very good friend of mine. Like I said, a lot of my business comes from my sphere. So unless I know the husband but not the wife, and the husband is a friend of mine, then I'll call him. But if I'm texting or emailing, it's going to be a group. I'm going to get the wife's number. And great attitude. Please always be enthusiastic and positive. If their offer does not get accepted, that's a huge blow. And they're going to feel down, and they may even feel like, well, you know, maybe you didn't advise me as well as you should have. You want to tell them, like, you know what? It is my firm belief that everything happens for a reason. And if you didn't get this one, that means the perfect house is still not on the market yet. I'm going to stay positive. There's a silver lining. This one was obviously not the house for you. I know you loved it, and I'm so sorry that you didn't get it, that the sellers chose an offer that was higher. However, I believe that this was not the perfect house for you because of this. Everything happens for a reason. Your perfect house is out there, and I'm going to work as hard as I can to find it. Communication tips. Sincerity. I know we talked about this. Be honest. Be reliable. Don't ever get caught in a lie. Just don't lie at all. Be honest. Be understanding. Focus on their needs, their wants, and their values. Predictability. Deliver what is promised and expected. Always do what you say you're going to do. Exceptionality. Provide extraordinary and uncommon service. This is something agents get a really bad rep. Like a really bad rep for being condescending and pushy. We've been compared to car salesmen before. And that's not okay. I am not a car salesman. Thank you very much. And even if I was, I wouldn't be a typical car salesman. And responsiveness. Get back quickly and reliably. If you don't answer and that's another thing, is set expectations. I had to learn this the hard way, and I'm still paying for it with repeat clients. When I first started as an agent, I was available all day, every day, from 6 o'clock in the morning until midnight. So I still get calls from my earlier clients at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Hey, I found this house. Can you set it up for tomorrow? I didn't set those expectations up front that I'm sorry, do not contact me after 9 p.m. unless it's an emergency. Do not contact me before 8 a.m. unless it's an emergency. I make an exception for coaching clients because we are realtors and I understand that contracts don't always happen 9 to 5. So if I'm awake and I get your text message, I'm going to text you back. If I'm still awake at bedtime and you text me a question, I'm going to answer it. We may not have time to get into an hour-long training session, but I'm going to answer you back and just say, get with me tomorrow. I can train you on this. This is how you're going to get repeat business and referrals. All right, so for this, your listing presentation, I want you guys to go into KW Connect and do that listing presentation. Edit it however you want to edit it. Take out whatever you want to take out when you print it out. Just make a master copy. And if you want, just save it to your computer. Like edit it with your photo and your name and your phone number and all that kind of stuff. Leave the client names and stuff like that blank, but go ahead and put in your information where it needs to go. Edit the words that need to be edited, stuff like that. But, you know, and then save it to your computer for easy access. Once it's downloaded, it's usually saved in your downloads so you can get back to it easily. But go ahead and work on your listing presentation and your pre-listing packet. Go back through here, see what all you want and what all you need. Make up a questionnaire if you don't like those questions. Make up your own, put your name and your logo and all that kind of stuff at the top. If you want to, you know, brand everything, that's okay. But do that. Practice your listing presentation. Do it in the mirror. Set up your phone to record facing you. Anything like that. Record it. Go back. Practice with your husband or your wife or, you know, a teenager kid. Or you can contact one of the other agents in the office, one of the other new agents. See if they want to do it too. If you are on our Facebook business page or on our agent page, the, excuse me, Keller Williams Madison agent page, if you're on there, I posted something not long ago about group lead gen. In the comments, there is a Google Meet link. They do 30 minutes of script practice and encouragement in the mornings every day, Monday through Friday. And then from 9 to 11, they do group lead generation where they make phone calls as a group. And it's the Huntsville Market Center, the Nashville, one of the Nashville Market Centers, and now ours. It's led by the productivity coach at the Huntsville office. I would love for you guys to join that. But they do the group lead gen via Zoom. I know the huddle in the mornings at 8:30 is Google Meet, but the actual lead gen is on Zoom from 9 to 11. That's every day, Monday through Friday, every week. So I would love for you guys to do that, to get used to making phone calls, get comfortable making phone calls. You can also just sit there and listen the first time and see what they say. If one of them is making a call, you know, with their mic on. But do that. Speak to other agents about staging resources and professionals. If you are interested in doing the staging thing, there are agents in our office that do it, or that hire people that have people that do it. Create marketing ideas for your listings or your future listings. Play with flyers. See what works for you. Don't try to get a listing appointment the next day and be scrambling to get all this stuff together and then stress. Have everything already prepared. Know where you're, like, you can create a folder on your computer that says listing materials. Have the PowerPoint presentation there and there. Have listing, a copy of all the listing documents in there. Have an editable flyer in that folder. You can do all that, that way everything is together and you never miss anything and it's easy to do quickly. Create the social media posts. If you have a listing coming up, maybe they've signed, but it's not quite ready to go yet, post it in our agent page and just say, hey, I've got a listing that is going to be coming up soon. If you have a buyer, it's, 4 bedroom, 2 bathrooms, 1,800 square feet in Sparkman School District. We have buyers. We have a ton of buyers in our market center. And if you do use the script about getting the appointment and previewing the home, if you use that script, don't ever say my, unless you actually have buyers that are looking for a house like that. Don't ever say my. You don't want to come across as a liar. Say we. We have buyers. As in our market center, we have a ton of buyers looking in this price point. I'd love to come and preview your home to see if it would fit one of our current buyers. All right, so do that. And I think we're done 30 minutes early. All right, right now, I want everyone that's on Zoom to ask a question, give me an aha, give me your biggest takeaway. One at a time, I'm gonna call on you. Gregory.
Dwight, you was breaking up.
I just want to know your biggest takeaway or your biggest aha from today's session.
How to learning how to speak to people. That's one thing I'm gonna have to do is, get a script down and go from there. Be prepared before I talk to someone. That's what I got out of today. Because when I practiced real estate before, I'd go somewhere and I'd forget what I was going to say. So I think it's very important that you practice and like you're acting and get it down pat.
But you make it to where it sounds like you. You don't want to sound like a robot saying it. So practicing and getting it down and learning how to handle objections on the fly, like, why should I use you? Or I talked to this agent and they're going to do this, or we've decided to sell it on our own. These are objections that you need to come up with quick answers to.
Yeah, and it makes you sound more professional when you're saying it. You're not actually stuttering or trying to think of something to say.
Exactly, exactly. All right, Kimberly Clark.
I think the biggest takeaway that I got was the market analysis and just being prepared before you talk to customers. That's the biggest thing. You always want to be prepared, which is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go print off what you said, get a little packet ready just in case I have to do something last minute. And so that's the biggest takeaway I got.
Good deal. Good deal. Amanda Davis.
I think I'm right there with Kimberly, actually. I was going to say just having everything ready and prepared so that I can move quickly and making sure that I have everything ready to go and move forward as needed.
Good deal. Destin?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I do have one question about the listing presentation.
Okay.
So do you advise to print off the presentation, or to take a laptop and go through a slideshow?
I prefer to print it. That way I have a copy in front of me, they have a copy in front of them, and I'm not trying to like scooch real close, and try to get up in their space during the presentation. That way I'm seeing what they're seeing, if you know what I mean. Like if they're sitting across the table from me, I'm going to have my screen facing them, not me. So I always print it out. If you want to do it on an iPad or a computer, please feel free. I know a lot of agents that do. They set it up and then they have a copy of it in front of them. But I like to see people's faces. I like to read and hold paper. But that's just me. it's really to each his own.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Jimmy.
For me, it's being prepared, taking care of all those little things so that they don't bite you when you're trying to present a presentation to a buyer or to a seller.
Yeah, absolutely. Being prepared is super important. And again, it takes the stress off of you as well. If you're prepared ahead of time for your future appointments, you won't if you're in that lead gen group and someone says, yeah, I'm actually looking for a realtor now. I've been on FSBO for 3 weeks now and it's just getting too much trying to schedule showings and the contracts they scare me. So yeah, I'd love for you to come out this afternoon. Okay. So then you start getting in a panic. It's like, what do I need? What do I bring? Where is all this stuff? So now I'm searching back through all these things. Have a nice little neat folder. This is everything I need for my listing presentation. I am prepared for this. I've got this. This is my day. This is going to be my listing. That's another thing. Put out what you want in. What you put into the universe comes back. I'm going to get this listing appointment. I'm going to get this listing. I'm going to attract new clients today. Put that in the universe. Say those affirmations in the morning. A lot of people take them like a dry erase marker. They write their affirmations on their bathroom mirror. That way they see them every day. They say them in their head. They say them out loud while they're getting ready. You could play like a podcast in the background, like an inspirational podcast. Do something, but get yourself hyped up. You can do this. Just because you're new does not mean that you don't deserve these clients. It does not mean that you can't do this job for them. It just means you don't have the experience doing it, but you have an entire market center here to help you. So they're not only paying for or getting one person, they're getting an entire market center. And if you have a coach, like several of you are my coaching clients, if you have me, they're getting 2 for the price of 1. I am literally going to walk you through every step. I try not to go on listing presentations with agents. I know some people think that that's awful of me, but they're going to look to me. If they ask a question, they're going to look to me. My coaching client is going to look at me and they're going to be like, what do I say? What do I do? And it's going to make them look inexperienced. I don't want that for them. I'm going to pep talk you. You can call me when you're sitting in their driveway. You've got this. You can do this. You're not going to say the wrong thing unless you don't feel confident. When you go in, you've got that listing appointment. You've got it. This is all you. If you don't know an answer, it's okay to say, I don't know that at this moment. Just say, that is a great question. Would you mind if when I leave, I'm going to get that answer for you? Would you mind if I texted you or called you or emailed you that answer this evening? It's okay to do that. But saying something that's not true just to have an answer, that's not okay. That's where the lying and the insincerity comes in. You've got this. Let them know. If they ask you, how long have you been doing this? Just say, I've only been in the business this long. However, my coach and my mentor have been doing this for this many years. And as a matter of fact, I have an entire market center that in my phone right now that I can call and get help or get assistance from anyone in my market center right now, if needed. So really, you're not only getting one listing agent. My name will be on the sign, but I have an entire market center backing me and my knowledge and my ability to do this job. So be confident. Don't ever show fear. Go in there. You've got this. All right, Sylvia, what was your biggest takeaway?
I really needed this segment because being prepared is what I need. And I enjoyed you helping me with that CMA because I'm working on that. So
Good.
it was this was very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could help. Robin, what was yours?
I would have to say, well, there were several. Just communication with the tips, creating a wow experience, and just being prepared would be probably, in a nutshell, what I've taken from this whole thing.
Well, good deal. Good deal. I'm glad that you guys were here. This is probably the largest Ignite session that I've ever had in my 2 years of teaching it. So thank you guys for being here and being interactive with me. I know I didn't get to see a lot of your faces. I understand you're at home. Maybe you don't feel like you look okay for the class. Or maybe you're at another job and that's okay too, and you're having to do stuff in the background. But I'm so glad that you guys were here. April will be back on Thursday to do the buyer session, and then I will be back on Friday to do the negotiating and closing the deal. So I will see you guys back on Friday. I hope you have a great class with April on Thursday. And if you guys have any questions, if you have something to write with, I will give you my phone number. Please feel free to text or call me anytime. My number is 256-424-5797. If you call me and I don't answer, it's usually because I screen my phone calls if I don't know the number. So if you want to text me first and just say, hey, this is such and such from the Madison office, could you give me a call back? I have some questions for you. I would be glad to return your phone call. All right, guys, do y'all have any other questions, comments, concerns, anything right now? No? All right, well, we are done early, so you guys are excused. Thank you so much to everybody who came, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.